Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Q3 and 9 months FY22 earnings conference call of Shree Pushkar Chemicals and Fertilizers Limited. This conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company, which are based on the beliefs, opinions, and expectations of the company as on date of this call. These statements are not the guarantees of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties that are difficult to predict. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. Today on the call, we are joined by Mr. Punit Makharia, Chairman and Managing Director of Shree Pushkar Chemicals and Fertilizers Limited, along with Mr. Deepak Beriwala, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Nitesh Bangle, Company Secretary and Compliance Officer, and Orient Capital, their investor relations partners. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Punit Makharia, Chairman and Managing Director of Shree Pushkar Chemicals and Fertilizers Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Hello and very good evening to everyone. We have uploaded our investor presentation and financial results on the stock exchanges and company website. I hope everybody had an opportunity to go through the same. I will take you through the industrial updates followed by financial and operational performance for our Q3 and 9 months FY22. As the situation is arriving to normalcy and economic activities are picking up, we are also witnessing business uptick across our business segments. We have been able to increase our sales volume significantly in our fertilizer segment through our 2 acquisitions of Madhya Bharat Phosphates and Kisan Phosphates Private Limited. An increase of 22% in volumes of Kisan Phosphates has resulted in revenue growth of 132% for Q3 FY22, which includes our revenue from fertilizers and animal health and nutrition. This is in respect to the similar quarter in the previous year. Similarly, Madhya Bharat Phosphates Private Limited saw a growth of 24% in volume, which has resulted in an increased revenue of 133% for Q3 FY22 and Q3 FY21. On the consolidated basis, our total volume has grown by 31% for 9 months FY22 versus 9 months FY21. Our volumes in dye segment grew by 47%, and our revenue from the segment has grown by 60% for Q3 FY22 versus Q3 FY21. Friends, overall chemical segment saw a growth of almost 25% for 9 months FY22 versus 9 months FY21. For our fertilizer business, the overall volume grew by 32%. The boost in volume is also because of enhanced volume from our subsidiary Madhya Bharat Phosphates and Kisan Phosphates, which we acquired in the past, and we look forward to the growth momentum in our overall business in the quarters to come. Since now we have enough capacity and are continuously increasing our capacity simultaneously, and the fact that we are present across India with, like Kisan Phosphates catering to the northern and eastern territories, Madhya Bharat is catering to the central and western India, Shree Pushkar, the holding company, catering to the west and south India. We are confident of significant growth in our volume going forward because of the pan-India distribution and presence in our products across India. Friends, now let me update you on the ongoing capex of our company. Unit 5 capex is almost done. Out of the total planned capex of 108 crores, we have already incurred close to 100 crores up till 31st of December 2021. The dry trial runs have been already commenced for the unit, and we are expected to start the commercial production somewhere in Q4 FY22. This shall further grow our dye volume in coming years. We have also successfully finished installation of our 2 solar plants for electricity generation for our internal consumption under the open access scheme, which will decrease our power cost and increase the margin profile. Total planned capex for the 2 solar plants is 21 crores. All is funded through the internal accruals. Of the total capex of 21 crores, we have already incurred approximately 13.30 crores till 31st of December 2021. The stock exchange notification has been released for the same. There are few other capex plans also going on in the hint side, which we will speak at the appropriate time, and we will keep all of you posted on the same. Revenue for the quarter for consolidated levels grew by 44% for Q3 FY22 as compared to same period last year, showing positive recovery signs. On profitability front, our EBITDA stood strong at 20 crores for Q3 FY22, which is an increase of 46% against the same quarter in the previous financial year. Our PAT for the third quarter ending 31st December 2021 saw a growth of 37% versus the similar quarter in the previous financial year. Our PAT growth for 9 months FY22 saw a significant up move of 129% versus 9 months FY21. EBITDA margins for 9 months FY22 was at 15% versus 9 months FY21, and the PAT margin for 9 months FY22 stood at 11% versus 9 months FY21. With increasing revenue, we anticipate operating leverage play out, which should flow down to bottom line going forward. With this, I would like to hand over the call to Mr. Deepak Beriwala, who is the CFO of our company, to take you through the financial and operational highlights for Q3 and 9 months FY22. Over to Deepak.
Thank you, sir. Good evening and a very warm welcome to everyone. Our total volumes for 9 months FY22 grew by 31%, and for Q3 FY22 it grew by 5%. On 9 month FY22 basis, volume in chemicals grew by 25% to 20,000 metric ton. Fertilizers volume for Q3 FY22 grew by 32 for 9 months FY22 from 118,000 metric ton in 9 months FY21 to 156,000 metric ton in 9 months FY22. For Q3 FY22, total volume for fertilizer segment stood at 48,000 metric ton, a growth of 13% year-on-year versus Q3 FY21. On revenue front, our revenue for Q3 FY22 stood at rupees 137 crore as compared to rupees 96 crores in Q3 FY21, a growth of 44% on year-on-year basis. For 9 months FY22, our revenue growth stood at 62% from rupees 242 crores in 9 months FY21 to rupees 392 crores in 9 months FY22. Our consolidated EBITDA for the quarter stood at rupees 19.7 crore as compared to rupees 13.5 crores in Q3 FY21, a growth of 46% on year-on basis. EBITDA margin for Q3 FY22 stood at 14.3%, and PAT margin for Q3 FY22 was at 9% for the quarter ended 31st December 2021. EBITDA for 9 months FY22 stood at rupees 60 crore as compared to rupees 29 crores in 9 months FY21, a growth of 107%. EBITDA margin for 9 months FY22 stood at 15.4%. PAT for 9 months FY22 stood at rupees 42 crores as compared to rupees 18 crore in 9 months FY21, a growth of 129% year-on-year basis. PAT for Q3 FY22 was at rupees 12 crore versus 9 crore for Q3 FY21, a growth of 37% on year-on-year basis. With this, I open the floor for discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Shubham Agarwal from Equitas India. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. Good evening, Shree Pushkar. Firstly, my question is related to the dye and dye intermediary division. So if we compare the numbers Q on Q, there was a significant drop in volumes, which is close to 33% as reported. and this is at a time when the rest of the industry reported a growth in volume. So I wanted to know what is the key reason for Shree Pushkar delivering, lower volume in this quarter.
Shubham, if you will see that there is an increase into the dyestuff business.
Okay.
And because, we make dyestuffs from the basic raw material called dyes intermediates, and since we are backward integrated also, so we produce dyes intermediate also. And the dyes intermediate we produce is first preferred to be consumed for our dyes business. If you will see that the dyes business has grown in the, am I right?
Total chemicals grown by 24% 1 year, 1 year.
This this is dyes and intermediates both together. If you put on a consol basis, then the total overall growth of the chemical business is 24%.
Sir, I wanted to know Q on Q basis.
Q3 to Q, what exactly you want to know?
So, compared to September quarter, what was the revenue in our dye intermediary and dye stuff versus what we delivered in this quarter? And there seems to be a fall, so I wanted to know the reason for that.
Do we have that data right now? Means what was the figures in September, means Q2 versus Q3?
Mm-hmm.
Those volume figures are there right now with us?
Shubham, in Q3 21-22, our dyes intermediate sale is 617 metric ton, and in September quarter it was around 800 metric ton.
So there is a drop of around 30%.
Yes.
And how about the dyes business?
Dyes business in Q3 2021, our dyes business is sold 1200 metric ton versus in September quarter it was almost 1200 metric ton.
So means there is an overall drop of the dyes intermediates of 200 tons.
Yes, 200 tons.
That we maintain the inventory.
Yes.
Okay. Shubham, I have understood the subject. Basically, as far as the dyes is concerned, we are almost the flat in a similar manner. As far as the dye intermediate, you will see that there is a drop of around 200 tons of the sale levels. And if you look at our closing stock valuation also,
yes,
that is high because we are holding a stocks of that much of intermediate, because by the end of 31st of December, there were certain inventories lying in our company for the dyes intermediates, because that particular time the demand was bit slack and the prices were bit slack. We preferred to hold back the stocks instead of selling that.
Okay. So, you see, the reason why I'm asking this is most of the peer result that has come out, whether it is Bodal or Shree or Bulgaria, all have reported significant growth Q on Q. As well,
if you will compare with the Q2 versus Q3 of this financial year, you will see that there is almost a flat revenue. Last quarter we did around 137 crores on a consolidated basis, and this year we did around 135 crores on a consolidated basis.
Okay, got it.
So, I would like to add here is that regarding the competitors, I would not like to comment, on their performance, Shubham. We can explain and discuss about our performances.
Okay, no problem. So going ahead, how do we expect this chemical division to, deliver from Q4 onwards? Because right now we see there is few raw material pressure, and as you already mentioned that you are looking at some flat demand. So can we expect further growth, and given that our new capacity is also coming up?
Yeah, if I give you a bit, fair idea on our performance of Q4, and in this Q4 generally is our, the best period amongst the whole, 4 quarters, and we believe that in Q4 we would be doing much better than what we did earlier in Q3 as well as Q2 also. And if you talk about the whole year basis performance, like the last year company did 350 crores on a consol basis. This year on 9 months basis, we already did 391 crores on a consolidated basis. As we have said earlier in our previous concalls that, somewhere close to 550 crore rupees of the total revenue company would be doing. And we are strongly confident that we will do that number. There should not be any issue. If you see that from 350 to 550 crores, there's almost jump of 200 crores, which may around 70% or so, jump into the total revenue. As far as the profitability is concerned, last year on a consolidated basis, company did around 28 crores of profit, of this PAT margins. And in this 9 months, the company has already done 41 crores of the PAT. So we believe that by the end of this year, in comparison to the last year, company would be doubling its profitability, rather more than doubling its profitability.
Perfect. That sounds perfect. And so again, coming on this dye intermediary division compared to China. So as of now, we are facing few raw material pressure as well as logistic costs have gone up, correct? So
Right.
now, because China is our biggest competitor, how do we fare in international market currently? If you can, explain a bit around it, it will be helpful.
See, Shubham, my personal opinion is that as far as the dyestuffs and intermediates are concerned, China is not that big competitor what has been defined by you. And yes, I would not disagree with this fact that China is not a competitor. Yes, China is a competitor, but we need to understand clearly that the cost of production of Chinese product with comparison with Indian manufacturers, their cost is much higher. If you look at the data for the past 3-4 years or so, you will see that that the import comparison than to their earlier period is much lower from China as of now. Only the consumers who are exporting dyestuffs, since they have their advanced licenses, because of the advanced licenses, they are importing some of the Chinese products like H and Parabase. Otherwise, as a overall, if you will see that on net basis, China, India is an exporter for dyes intermediates. And as far as the dye is also concerned, I don't think, in my personal opinion, that there is any this kind of a competition from China, which used to be earlier in the period 2015 or 16 or so.
Okay, fair enough. And lastly, on the new facility, so what's our internal expectation of ramping up this facility? By when can we achieve that?
Your question is pertaining to Unit 5?
That's right.
See, Unit 5 is almost done, Shubham. We have already started the dry trial runs of the plant. And internally, we have decided that, by the first or second week of March, we will be commencing the production of Unit 5.
Okay. Perfect. And now coming to the fertilizer division, if we see the volume decline Q on Q. So last quarter we reported 54,000, and this quarter we reported 48,900. So and there seems to be a significant drop in revenue as far as Madhya Bharat is concerned, based on the number reported in your presentation. So what was the reason?
Hold on. Which numbers he is talking about?
Means fertilizers 48,000 in this quarter.
Okay.
And in September quarter 54,000.
In September it was 54,000.
Yeah.
So that's a seasonal issue.
Yeah.
See, Shubham, that's a seasonal impact.
Okay. And what was the revenue reported this quarter for Madhya Bharat?
The revenue for this quarter in Madhya Bharat is, this is the different document.
26.5 crores.
Yeah.
26.
26.5 crore in comparison with the last year quarter of 16 crores.
Okay. And standalone fertilizer?
Standalone means you're talking about Pushkar?
Yeah.
Do we have the figure of that?
17.12 crores in Q3 at 21-22.
Okay. Okay.
Out of 18 crores.
Got it. Understood. And in the slide number 12, there is a mention of capacity build-up in fertilizer from 4,02,000 to 5,90,000. So I wanted to understand if there is any further capex that we are doing, and if you can explain this build-up.
See, as of now, we are ramping up our capacities of fertilizer at two different places. It is in Kisan Phosphates Private Limited. Right now, the installation capacity of Kisan is 100,000 tons, which will be ramped up to 132,000 tons.
Okay.
Secondly, our another facility of Madhya Bharat, that is at Diwanganj, which we haven't started. Though we tried to start it earlier, but we couldn't do so because of some other issues. And that Diwanganj plant is of 132,000 tons of capacity. So all put together, there will be an incremental size of SSP of this fertilizer of around 164,000 tons.
Okay. And standalone, we have 1,47,000. Okay, got it. So
Standalone on SSP, if you talk about, it is 100,000 plus some other intermediary products like sulfate of potash, NPKs, then all put together 145,000 tons. 49,000.
Got it, sir. Thank you. I'll come back in please.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sumesh Galeria from Green Portfolio. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Hi,
So my question is again, my question is on the capacity side. So our Q2 presentation had some different numbers, and now Q3 presentation has some different numbers. I'll give an example. Chemicals was supposed to be around 30,000 tons by financial year 22-23 in Q2, but in Q3 presentation it states 38,260. So is it something that we are planning some additional capex over here, or it's some clerical error?
Hold on, Sumesh. Let me see what the exact.
Fertilizer also.
Can anybody tell me?
Yeah. So Q3 it's page number 12, sir, of the investor presentation, and Q2 it's page number 18.
Page number 18.
Yes, Q2 it's page number 18 and Q3 page number 12.
One second.
In the meantime, Sumesh, our team is figuring out your, question. We'll come back to you on this question. In the meantime, can we have the next question?
Yes, sir. My next question is on the Diwanganj plant. So tentatively, when can we expect that to start?
We are targeting to start Diwanganj as early as possible, Sumesh. We've already obtained all the necessary approvals for starting of the plant, and the plant has been fully updated. Even some kind of approval and certifications are required from the Department of Fertilizers. That has been also done. And we are facing some few local issues at that particular site, which we are in the process of resolving them. We believe that it should be resolved as soon as possible. But somewhere, I hope that somewhere by April or May, we should be, this commercially operating this Diwanganj site.
Okay. Sir, one request that I just had two questions. So one request, like if possible, could you please update the plant-wise capacities that you have right now over the website or either on the exchange site? So it will be easier for us to analyze the whole thing because there are so many plants. Sometimes
means you're talking about all the products at all the sites or the particular fertilizer one you're asking about?
Yes, sir. So we can analyze. So right now, just like I told you, the clerical errors we are kind of seeing right here, right now in Q2 and Q3 presentation. So it makes a bit difficult for us to analyze. If possible,
I can understand, Shubham. What we will do is that right now our investor relation team is sitting also into the room, and they are the part of the conference. I would request them to share with you the individual capacity-wise of the product as well as the plant-wise also. That will, I think that will remove all the confusions also if it is there within us or, this with you also. And let me tell you, Shubham, Sumesh, that all put together we are operating from 9 different sites. One site is in Haryana, 2 sites are in Madhya Pradesh, and remaining 6 sites in Maharashtra. And we have multiple products and multiple plants within the company. We will make a proper Excel sheet, and our relationship and our investor relation team will share that statement with you. I think that would be all right.
Yes. That will be very helpful actually. So just one last thing. We are not doing any further capex, right? That's whatever we planned earlier in Unit 5, Diwanganj and Kisan Phosphate. That's it. Nothing new is coming up, right, sir?
Sumesh, if you have seen and if you have heard my speech in the beginning, we have said that certain more capexes are under planning, which we will be discussing at the right time. But yes, definitely once we successfully commission Unit 5, we'll be doing so.
Okay.
एक second, Sumesh. क्या है ये दीपक?
Sumesh, in our chemical sector, total capacity was 14,000 metric ton. FY21, but we are planning to start commercial production of Unit 3 in March 22. So the increase of total capacity in chemical center is 24,000. So total capacity will be 38,260 metric ton in chemical sector.
Okay, so Unit 5 will contribute around 24,000 metric ton, right, sir?
Metric ton capacity.
Okay. And fertilizers one?
Fertilizers means it's FY21 it was 4,02,000 metric ton, but for FY22-23 it will be 5,90,000, which increased by 32,000 in Kisan and 1,32,000 in Madhya Bharat.
Okay, so earlier in Q2 we had a clerical mistake because then it was showed like from 3,30,000 we will be moving to 483.
Yes. Yes.
Am I correct, sir?
You are right, Sumit. There was some mistake in typing error from our side in our Q2 presentation, and we apologize for that.
Oh, no, it's okay, sir. And thanks for the IR agencies one, like putting the plant location over the investor presentation. Thank you, sir. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Forum Hakim from Equity Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Congratulations on a good set of numbers. So my first question is related to Unit 5. In the last con call, we had mentioned that we would start the commercial production by the first week of Jan, but now we are saying by March. So what is the reason for the same?
Well, let me tell you, first of all, on Unit 5 front, we are delayed. So there is no doubt about it that we are delayed, with the good number of days we are delayed. We, earlier during our various conference calls, we have been coming out with the dates for, this expected dates for starting the production. Unfortunately, we couldn't meet that, whereas we earlier planned that we'll be doing it January. But in January, we have already started our dry trial runs. Now, unit is completely commissioned. When I say that dry trial runs, it is basically starting of a plant without any raw materials. Means it is a testing and checking of the chemical, of all the equipments, utilities, pipelines, and all the electricals, everything. Because once we use it, once we put this chemical, so before putting the raw material for chemicals, we need to have a dry trial of the plant, which is already going on. And now I don't think there should be any other issues or any further delay by starting the plant in March.
Okay. Okay, sir. And sir, could you give the unit-wise capacity utilization, like for Pushkar, KPL, and Madhya Bharat?
In our last question, when Mr. Sumesh wanted the similar kind of a statement, and same thing I think we will put on a company's website also, with all the plant-wise and their location and their products and their capacities-wise.
No, sir, I'm asking about the capacity utilization for the quarter.
Capacity utilization for the quarter. Do we have it right now? वो था ना एक पेपर यार, एक statement लाया था. Where is that? Hold on. Yeah, Deepak.
Sales percentage.
Tell the percentage, whatever. Yeah. Go ahead.
In SPCFL Q3, our sales percentage on capacity basis for dyes intermediate is 30%, for dyes is 80%, for fertilizer is 33% on quarter basis. In Kisan, our capacity is 72%, and in Madhya Bharat is 63%.
One point here you have to see is that the dye stuff, this dyes intermediates, when we see, when we say 30%, Deepak is telling you the figures on the sales basis, not on the production basis, because most of the production of the dye intermediate we use into the dye stuffs also. As I said earlier that we have carry forward stocks also. I think the perfect idea would be to give you the production figures that will give a proper, data about the this capacity utilization. Do we have the production figure, Deepak? Abhi no problem. We will share it with you. That's not a problem.
Okay, sir. Okay, and sir, could you share the export breakup for our chemical business?
In chemical business, till 9 months 2021-22, total export is 69 crores rupees.
For the 9 months?
For 9 months.
And for Q3?
Only for the Q3, how much it was?
24 crores.
Okay. And we are exporting completely from Pushkar or also from
Only from Pushkar.
The other subsidiary units are into the fertilizer business, and that's a domestic indigenous production, and it is consumed domestically also, itself. So the export business is only into the Pushkar, and that too also the chemicals and dye stuff division.
Right, sir. So how is the current demand and pricing scenario for both our segments, fertilizers and chemicals?
In comparison with the last year, 2021, we believe that the business is good at this point of a time. If you go through our earlier discussions and various inputs to the investors, we have been always saying that when the Unit 5 would be started somewhere by Q3 or by the January, then we'll be doing 550 crores of the business all put together, which includes Q4 result of Unit 5 also. Now, without Unit 5, company would be able to cross 550 crores.
Okay, sir.
Right. So I think that this all data clearly provide that the business of the company is good comparing the last year. And as we said earlier that, the whole business and the economy is coming back to the situation. In profitability terms also, company is doubling its profitability than comparison to the last year. And revenue-wise also, it is almost 70% up, plus Unit 5, which would be operational in March this year.
Right, sir. So I have two more questions. So what is the impact of the lower fertilizer subsidy on the entire fertilizer demand and on your business as well?
Can you repeat your question, please?
So in the budget, there was a lower fertilizer subsidy given, right, for the next.
That has been provision made by the government of India.
Yeah. So how will it impact the overall fertilizer demand and also your business?
See, this is my personal opinion I'm sharing with you. That though the government is trying to and they have provided for a subsidy reduction in this budget. Right. But how that is going to happen, how that is going to, this impact the fertilizer business is yet to be seen. But what I'm looking for the next year or for the next season is that there is acute shortage of the fertilizer. There is acute shortage of the fertilizer raw materials also. I believe that the cost is going up, will go up, and there will be a concern on the supply side. Demand side is also going to be bullish because of the low supply of imported fertilizers like DAP, MOP and urea to India. Secondly, now the government is also emphasizing on replacement of indigenous fertilizer than in comparison with the imported fertilizer. If you will see that against 1 ton of DAP, government is proposing to use 3 tons of SSP. So means if a business of let's say around 100,000 tons of DAP is short supplied, then ultimately there is a market creation for 300,000 tons of SSP. So we have to see how the government is planning, and I can't comment on this part, but I don't think that there is going to be any hardships into the fertilizer business. Rather, I see a great outlook, especially for the fertilizer business in next season.
Right, sir. And sir, we've been able to pass on the higher raw material costs in this quarter. Like it's pretty obvious. So do you think we'll be able to do the same for the next quarter as well?
I don't see any issues into that. This has been a continuous efforts into the business. If not Pushkar, then everybody will, then any other company also, which has already resulted into our results for these 9 months also. And, business is there to make some money, and that too also with ethical trade practices. Nobody pays out from his own pocket.
Right, sir. Just the last question, sir. What is your 3-year plan?
3 years, so I don't have, I don't want to discuss at this point of a time because it will be too early for me to discuss about the 3 years plan. But what we are planning for at least next year, for 22-23, that this year we'll be crossing 550 crores. We are targeting for crossing, we are targeting for touching 1,000 crores at least for 22-23. This statement I am giving you with full responsibility.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please press star and 1.
अभी अगला क्वेश्चन आएगा.
The next question is from the line of Bhagwan Chaudhary from Sunidhi Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Bhagwan bhai.
Sir, there's a question on this Unit 5. Two questions I am having. One related to the products. I think we have not discussed much about the product, what kind of product we are about to produce in this. And secondly, how is it going to ramp up on quarter-over-quarter after once it commences?
भगवान भाई प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर तो मैं आज भी डिस्कस नहीं करूंगा.
Okay.
And as far as the ramping up the capacity and its revenue is concerned, Unit 5 will easily generate a revenue of 250 crore rupees. Since we are already onto the phase of the dry trial runs, we believe that मार्च में कहीं ना कहीं हम लोग इसके अंदर कमर्शियल प्रोडक्शन भी चालू कर लेंगे. अगला जो 22-23 का साल है वो पूरा साल अपने का भगवान भाई. अब इसके अंदर एक बात मैं आपको थोड़ा सा एक आउटलुक दे देता हूँ. इस साल के अंदर 550 के ऊपर बिजनेस आराम से चला जाएगा, जिसके अंदर की यूनिट 5 नहीं आई है. और अगला साल अगर आप देखोगे 22-23 का, तो उसके अंदर एक तो यूनिट 5 का एडिशन होगा, प्लस जो हमारी दीवानगंज की साइट है उसका एडिशन होगा, प्लस जो किसान फॉस्फेट्स के अंदर हम 32,000 टन का एसएसपी का नया प्रोडक्शन कर रहे हैं उसका एडिशन होगा, प्लस एक दो छोटे मोटे जो हमारे कैटल फीड एनिमल हेल्थ न्यूट्रिशन बिजनेस में हमने एडिशन किया है उसका एडिशन होगा. इन तीनों चारों चीज मतलब ये सारे कैपेक्स कंप्लीट हो चुके हैं भगवान भाई. इसके अंदर अभी कुछ और करने जैसा नहीं बचा है. राइट. आई बिलीव दैट समवेयर बाय मार्च एवरीथिंग वुड बी स्टार्टेड. सोलार हम लोगों ने ऑलरेडी चालू ही कर दिया है. ये सारी चीजें आप एडिशन करके देखोगे तो कहीं ना कहीं 350 के आसपास का एडिशन कंपनी में आने ही वाला है. 550, 350 को जोड़ो तो तकरीबन 850-900 का आंकड़ा ये बैठता है. इसके अंदर अब कोई नया पैसा लगने वाला नहीं. कंपनी को जितना कैपेक्स करना था वो टोटल 150 करोड़ के आसपास का कैपेक्स कंपनी इंटरनल एक्रूवल से कर चुकी है, जिसके अंदर यूनिट 5 भी आ गई, जिसके अंदर सोलार भी आ गया, जिसके अंदर लास्ट ईयर जो मध्य भारत का कैपेक्स किया वो भी आ गया. प्लस अब जो ये छोटे मोटे जो सब बैलेंसिंग एक्सपांशन है, जैसे कि किसान के अंदर 1 लाख का 1,32,000 टन कर दिया, और 1, 2, 3 साइट के ऊपर जो हमने कैटल फीड का बिजनेस ग्रो किया, ये सारी चीजें खत्म हो चुकी. मतलब खर्चे पानी के सारे काम पूरे हो चुके भगवान भाई. ये कहीं ना कहीं 850-900 के ऊपर लेके जाएगा. प्लस जैसे हम लोगों ने कहा कि फर्दर मोर बिजनेस ग्रोथ इन टर्म्स ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक एंड इनऑर्गेनिक आर आल्सो अंडर प्रोसेस, which we would not like to discuss at this point of a time until unless we get our approvals from our board. तो ऐसा टारगेट है कि कहीं ना कहीं कंपनी अगले साल 4 डिजिट के ऊपर आराम से आ जाएगी. ये सारे कैपेक्सेस करने के बावजूद भी कंपनी के पास में तकरीबन 50 करोड़ रुपए के नो इन डिपॉजिट्स, नो इन इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आज भी पड़े हैं भगवान भाई.
Got it. So sir, just on the same, पहले क्वार्टर में जैसे अगर हम 200-250 करोड़ का एस्टिमेट ले रहे हैं, तो विल इट बी फेयर कि 30-40 करोड़ फ्रॉम फर्स्ट क्वार्टर आ जाएगा यूनिट 5 से?
आना चाहिए भगवान भाई.
Got it.
इस तो नहीं, 40-50 तो आना चाहिए.
Got it.
40-50 तो आना चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर मोटा मोटी हिसाब जोड़ोगे तो 60-65 करोड़ का धंधा क्वार्टर वाइज क्वार्टर आना चाहिए. फर्स्ट क्वार्टर है, थोड़ा सा रैंप अप करते करते हो सकता है कि 2-3 महीने का हिकअप्स आ सकता है. बट आई एम श्योर कि कहीं ना कहीं 40-50 करोड़ का धंधा क्वार्टर 1 में आना चाहिए. मुझे उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम दिखाई नहीं देती. पर्सनली अगर आप पूछोगे, ऐसी कोई मुझे समस्या दिखाई नहीं देती उसके अंदर.
And so just your comment.
तो उसमें क्या होता है रोहन भाई कि जो अगर हिकअप्स भी आते हैं ना, वो प्लांट के ट्रायल में आते हैं.
ओके.
प्लांट चालू किया, अरे ये हो गया, अरे वो ऐसा हो गया, अरे ये इधर ये डिफॉल्ट हो गया, वो उधर फॉल्टी हो गया. तो ये सब चीजें तो अभी पहले ही चालू कर रखी है ट्रायल्स.
यू मीन कि डिमांड में कोई इशू नहीं है?
नहीं, डिमांड का कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, छोड़ो ना.
ओके. And so your comment on this dye stuff outlook, abhi pricing wise, yeah, because last 2-3 years have been quite soft. So how do you look now onwards, because there is a lot of
overall देखोगे soft ही है बॉस. क्योंकि ये जो कोरोना का इम्पैक्ट है 2 साल से अब धीरे धीरे खुलना चालू हुआ है।
ओके,
वो इम्पैक्ट तो आना ही आना है। अभी भी सॉफ्ट है। आप बोलोगे कि अभी अच्छा हो गया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है भगवान भाई। अभी भी ओवरऑल प्राइसिंग सॉफ्ट ही है।
बट देयर इज लॉट ऑफ एक्साइटमेंट इन टेक्सटाइल साइड, तो उसका कोई अभी तक आपको इम्पैक्ट
नहीं, अभी आप देखो तो धीरे धीरे टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर इज ऑल्सो डूइंग गुड। इंडिया का टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर भी खुल रहा है।
दैट्स व्हाई आई एम आस्किंग के
नहीं, आएगा, कोई इशू नहीं। अभी तक भी सॉफ्ट है, बट अभी जैसे हम लोगों ने पहले कहा कि भाई Q3 के अंदर 200-250 टन की इन्वेंट्री हम लोग कैरी कर रहे हैं डाई इंटरमीडिएट्स के अंदर। वाई वी हैव नॉट सोल्ड? बिकॉज वी बिलीव दैट इन Q4 देयर इज गोइंग टू बी बेटर प्राइसिंग। आज अगर कंपनी को कैश की तकलीफ है तो माल को सस्ते में फूंक देवे। जब ऐसी कोई परिस्थिति नहीं है और सामने दिखाई दे रहा है कि यस देयर इज गोइंग टू बी पॉजिटिव आउटलुक, व्हाई टू सेल द मटेरियल एट चीप?
Got it, sir. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, Bhagwan bhai.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Forum Hakim from Equity Capital. Please go ahead.
My questions have been answered. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Varun from Sharma's. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Mr. Varun, there is a disturbance from your line. May we request you to please rejoin the queue? We cannot hear you, sir. Thank you. The next question is from the line of Samarth Singh from TPF Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Could I please get the 9-month fertilizer sales in Pushkar, in Kisan and Madhya Bharat?
Hold on. Do we have those figures right now?
9-month fertilizer sale, na?
In all the 3 companies?
Yeah.
कितना है total quantity बोलो?
Quantity की करो.
Total quantity value बोल दे.
Yeah, in fertilizers in Shree Pushkar standalone, total 40,000 metric ton sale. In Kisan 9 months, total 62,000 sale. And in
9 months का?
9 months.
Okay.
62,000. And in Madhya Bharat 9 months, total sale is 48,000 metric ton.
So total 1.5 lakh ton.
Yeah, total approximately, yes.
Around 150,000 tons till 9 months.
Right. So we had, at one point, we were hoping to get 1 lakh tons out of Madhya Bharat for this year, out of which 20,000 would come from Diwanganj. So that's fine. That is not coming. But so 80,000 from, Madhya Bharat and Kisan, we had said another 80 to 85,000 and Pushkar 65,000. So I think
we have already seen, let's go one by one, right? Hold on, ये कौन सी company Pushkar है? See, in Pushkar we have already done 40,000 tons. Still we have 3 months going on. On a monthly basis, we are dispatching around, like in January, if I talk about, we did a dispatch of around 9,500 tons in Pushkar standalone itself. So now the Pushkar is close to 50,000 tons. Further, we have 2 months more in our hand. Now, if we come to, Kisan, in Kisan, there is a capacity utilization of 83% in Kisan up till 9 months. And I believe as far as the capacity, this utilization of 83% individual wise is concerned, is a great achievement. Somewhere in Kisan, we will maintain the same pace in next 3 months also. And somewhere around 84,000 tons of the SSP we would be doing in Kisan for the full year. And comparative to the last year of, we have the figure of last year? I don't remember the last year quantity-wise figure right now with me. But as far as the business-wise is concerned, Kisan was around 70 crore rupees of the total business in last year, 2021. And in 21-22, in 9 months itself, Kisan has done a business of around 90 crores. Further 3 months still there are in our hand. We believe that Kisan would touch 125 crores of the total revenue in this month, again with 70 crores of the revenue in the last year. As far as the Madhya Bharat is concerned, since this is a full year on of Madhya Bharat, in till 9 months we have done close to 48,000 tons. 3 months still are there with us. I believe that close to 75,000 tons of SSP business we would be doing in Madhya Bharat. Unfortunately, Diwanganj we are not ready to start with some other local issues there, which would be starting next year. Next year we will be getting a full year operation of Madhya Bharat, including Diwanganj also.
Right. Okay, that's very helpful. And Diwanganj's capacity 50,000 tons?
Diwanganj ki dekho, वैसे capacity and everything is around 132,000 tons. But there is a space constraint. We are in mid of the execution of documents for purchase of the side-by lands also. And in next year, we would be, we are targeting hardly 60,000 tons, but slowly and gradually it will be ramped up to further capacities also.
Okay. That's simple. And what is the outlook on rock phosphate pricing? Has that come down, or is that still going up or stabilized?
Still going up.
Okay. And the budget has reduced the import duty on that, right?
We discussed this subject, 2 questions before also, and though the government has reduced the subsidy, let's see how it goes away, because I personally believe that there is an acute shortage of fertilizer in the country. So ultimately that hit has to be either taken by the manufacturers or by the farmers or by the government. Let's see where the wind blows.
No, so I was talking about the import duty on rock phosphate. That has been reduced, right?
That's already 2.5%. That was in the beginning also. Nothing else has been reduced. There is no further import duty reduction has been done on rock phosphate, because earlier also it was 2.5%.
Okay. And just last quarter I think we had mentioned that we would see the benefits of higher H acid and vinyl sulfone pricing starting in this quarter, in quarter 3. But our EBITDA is more or less flat between the second quarter and third quarter. Could you just comment on that?
I just said that the pricing of the intermediates is still softer. During the last question asked by Mr. Bhagwan Das, the same, the addressal was said that as of now also the intermediate pricing and the diester pricing are on a softer term. We believe that in Q4 or the Q1 next year it should start ramping it up, because the business and textile business has just started coming back to the normalcy.
Okay. Just 2 more questions. One was, could you just tell what percentage of our dyestuff sales is branded versus B2B?
Yeah. What percentage of the dye? Your question is what percentage of the dyestuff sale in Q3?
In general, sure, in Q3 or for 9 months.
We are utilizing almost 80% of the dyestuff capacities. We are close to selling around 300 tons to ranging 400 tons of dyestuffs per month, against an installed capacity of 500 tons. So there we are utilizing almost required levels, because in case if we just make 1 product or 2 products in dyestuff, we can easily cross 500 tons. But since we are blue sign registered company, we have a bundle of products. We make various colors. We do branding our own self also. We sell in retail also. So achieving a 100% capacity of dyestuff is not possible. Therefore, since we have to produce few more colors, so we are doing around 80% of the utilization, and that's a good achievement of the utilization of the capacities.
So what percentage of our dyestuff sales is branded versus unbranded?
No, first of all, we don't do anything unbranded, right? And out of this, I think it should be around 60% business is in our own brand called Concall, and balance 35 to 40% business we are doing for a multinational company across the globe, and this is what it is. And as far as unbranded is concerned, we have nothing product called unbranded with us.
Okay. And last question from my side. On our presentation, page slide 7, in consolidated metric tons of chemicals sold, in the last quarter we had shown a total sale of 12,786 metric tons for the half year FY22. And this quarter we are showing sales of 4,575 metric tons. So that totals 17,361 metric tons for the 9 months, but we are showing it as 20,068 metric tons.
Hold on, let me see. Deepak, ye kya hai? Ye dekha tune? I couldn't see what it was. Do we have the reply right now in front of us? Or should I request him that we'll submit? We can get that? Yeah. Are we there right now? My team is figuring it out that we'll come back to you on this part. Will that be okay?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Thank you. That's all from us.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Punit Bakaria for closing comments.
Thank you. With the growth opportunities we foresee across all our segments and completion of all our projects, we believe that we are ready for the next level of growth, and we will position to capitalize for this opportunity. Thank you, friends. Thank you, everyone for joining us. I hope we all have been able to answer all of your queries. If anything left out, we will come back to the gentleman personally and explain them what it is. In case you require any further details, you may please contact us or Orient Capital, our investor relation partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you. On behalf of Shree Pushkar Chemicals and Fertilizers Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.